How do I ever catch up on paperwork? This is one of the most common questions I hear from therapists, so if you have had this thought, you're not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Maelisa Hall, creator of the free private practice paperwork crash course, and I'm here every week answering all of your questions about clinical documentation. Today we are talking about how do you catch up on this overwhelming task of being behind on paperwork. Now this is part 1 of answering this question, so make sure you check out part 2 next week. This first step is something that a lot of therapists overlook and a lot of people want to avoid, but it is the most important thing to do first before you create a catch-up plan, before we do anything else. And the first thing we have to do is get you writing your current notes on a schedule. This is so important because it's going to keep you from getting even further behind. And what we're going to do is build upon this success and capitalize on what we learned through this process to get you all caught up on all the notes that you might have to do from weeks or months or even years before. So what I recommend when you're starting this process is that you first identify how long it actually takes you to write a note. Most people don't actually know this, and once you have this number, it helps you with planning, and a lot of times it'll help you with motivation too, because it may not take you as long as you think. So what you do is pick 5 to 6 notes to write and time yourself writing each note. So make sure that you just sit down, time however it takes when you normally write a note, the typical process. And then you average out that number. So maybe one note took you 5 minutes, one note took you 8 minutes, one note took you 9, etc. Average out that number, and that's about how long it takes you to write a typical note. Now, one word of caution here. You don't want to do this with your overdue notes. Don't do this with a note from a month ago, because unfortunately what you'll probably find is that it takes you a while to remember what happened. So do this for a session that you just had within the last day. Okay, so make sure you plan this out and actually write a few of those notes just so that you know how long it'll take you, and then those notes will be done too. The next step in this process is to identify your best working time. So for most therapists, their best working time for writing notes is not at 8 p.m. after they've seen 5 clients in a row. So if that's you, that's okay. You want to know, that's not my best working time. That is not when I get my notes done. And I will also tell you that I can guarantee your best time to write notes is not at 10 o'clock after you've gone home and you're sitting on the couch after putting your kids to bed watching some TV. I've heard that a lot. That's not your best time either, okay? So think about what is your best time. Think back to grad school, to college. When were you able to write that paper and it came out more easily? Where did you have to go to be distraction free? What time did you feel like you had the energy to focus? What did you have to do beforehand? Maybe it was after a workout. Maybe it was early in the morning. Maybe it was in the middle of the day when you needed a break between different things. Who knows? And it's different for every person. So that's really important. You need to know what works for you, not what works for a colleague or what worked for your professor or your supervisor. So once you know how long it takes you to write a note, you can plan out how long you actually need to write notes for all of your clients. So if you write a note in 5 minutes and you have 5 clients, you need 25 minutes every week for writing notes for those clients. Then once you have the best time to write those notes, you know when you should spend that 25 minutes. So the next thing to do is put it on your schedule. Now the key here is that this time needs to be sacred and on its own. This time is not shared with doing emails. It is not shared with returning client phone calls. This is not administrative time in your calendar. This is notes. So notes time, administrative time, client time, family time, all the other stuff, but notes are on their own. Now, once you can do that for a week or two, then you can think about how do I catch up on all of these notes? And that's what we'll talk about in next week's video, is how do you actually create a catch-up plan? for getting all of those notes done. Maybe you have 100 notes to do. We want to make sure that that is doable and that it's not something that's going to burn you out, and that you can maintain this regular schedule so that you keep current with all of your notes and you don't have more to add to the pile after you finish clearing up the pile. Now, I know this issue of catching up on notes is such a big problem for therapists, so I am doing a summer paperwork blitz. That means we're going to spend 5 straight days meeting online, co-working together, getting your notes done together. So this is going to be that moral support, that accountability, that encouragement that you need. It's also going to be done like this. In a meeting, you'll be able to see people's faces, see cameras, and you will know that you are not alone in this struggle. Other people are there with you, and we are all there to cheer you on. So make sure you click below to sign up for the Summer Paperwork Blitz, August 13th to 17th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Every day, those 5 days, we'll be meeting together and getting our notes done. When you sign up, you will get links to join every day, and you'll get a little bit more information, and you'll also get a fill-in-the-blank catch-up plan that you can create so you are ready on day 1 and able to get a lot of notes done. Even if you can't show up every day, make sure you sign up and join us even for just 1 day or half an hour every day. Just think, if you spent 2 hours in 1 week getting your notes done, how much more caught up you'd be. So I hope we'll see you there. Click below and we will get your work done during the Summer Paperwork Blitz.